Hey there, leaders. Trian here. Welcome back to the Be That Create That channel. Whether you are listening to us on YouTube, on the podcast, on Apple or Spotify, I want to welcome you guys here. I thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, you're here because you want to take that leadership shift. You want to be the leader. You want to create the environment. You want to create the culture. You are working on a legacy. And today what we're going to talk about is the leadership shift when you stop talking and start learning. This is a lesson that took me far too long than I would like to share to learn along the way. But I cannot believe by taking some of the things I'm going to share with you today and creating better relationships with the people that are not only within our leadership team, but also with our crew. As many of you know, we run a 7-figure restaurant, an operating partner with Ponderosa, and we work with a lot of teenagers. And I love those teenagers. I love being able to mentor them. I love being a part of their first jobs and their lives. However, it does come with its challenges. And what I'm going to share with you today is actually one of those things that has helped break down the obstacles of communicating with them, but also really empowering and encouraging them to do the best that they can in this entry-level position as they're making their way through school or college. And it sounds simple, right? People say, learn from your team. Okay, well, what's the strategy and how do I do this? If you've ever led people, you know it's not always easy to learn from your team. Because leadership comes with pressure. You're expected to have all the answers. You're expected to guide, to be the one that people look up to. And without even realizing it, you start talking more than you give yourself the chance to listen. You might step in too quickly. You correct things immediately. You try to keep everything moving and keep everything on track. And let's be clear, that doesn't come from ego. Most times it comes from really caring. It comes from responsibility. It comes from just that weight of wanting things to go right and feeling as if you are so responsible for that there is either no one who can do it like you, or you're afraid that someone is going to drop the ball. You are concerned that in a way it will come back on you, right? But here's the thing. Somewhere in all of that doing, you might be missing something that's even more powerful than just getting those end results. And that's that your team isn't just there to be led through something. They want to contribute to the results and the outcomes that you have going on and know that there's some value into what they are offering your business. They see things that you don't, especially when they're working in and out in the position that they are a part of. They notice what you might overlook, and they carry ideas that you haven't even heard of yet. You haven't even thought about because you are in a completely different position than what they're in and focusing on different things. And when there's no space for them to be able to carry those ideas, they just disappear overnight. They fade, they quiet down, they stop being shared. And this is where I find most of the team leaders that I'm talking to are getting stuck. They don't even realize the things that could have come from their team that they didn't take the time to listen to, that could have gotten them through possibly an obstacle or, made a system better or improve the operation if they had just taken the time to stop and ask questions. But when you create a room where people feel heard, everything changes. It doesn't happen overnight, just like it doesn't go away overnight. But you feel the gradual shift. You feel the difference in the energy in the room. You feel, their body language when you start asking questions and stop just telling them what to do. So if you want to lead this way, where you feel like your leadership feels lighter, your decisions become clearer, and growth becomes something that you build together, not that you are just carrying everything alone or expected to be in charge of everybody's development. If you want to lead like that, this is the thing I want you to start with. I want you to pause. I want you to pause and take a breath before you respond to something that's happening. And when you do get into the practice of asking more questions, ask one more question than you think that you need to. Let silence do some of the work. Just pause and think. And when they see that they're given that extra space to continue to talk about the idea that they want to share, they'll use it. So you have to get comfortable with that couple seconds of silence. And then acknowledge the ideas. Even if you don't use them, just that acknowledgement when that team member walks away or leaves the office or however you meet, that team member is going to think, oh, well, that was really well received. They're going to feel valuable. They're going to feel like they have added value to the business and to you personally and also for themselves. So they're going to already start thinking about other things that they can discuss with you. You're going to keep those wheels going without even realizing that you did. Because being a leader doesn't mean that that leader is the only voice. It means that you are really taking the time to help other people see and use their voices and become valuable parts of your team. So here's something that I want you to sit with today. Did you give your team room to teach you something today? And if you want to go a little extra step and you want to keep track of these in a notebook to hold yourself accountable, I would encourage you to use something like a 30-day tracker, right? So just get a basic notebook, get an index card, whatever system works for you. I used to carry an index card with me on my entire restaurant shift, and then I would write down who have I spoken to today, what kind of things did I learn, what kind of things did I teach, holding myself accountable to having conversations. And then there were obviously other things that I put on that card. But to me, what I realized was those conversations were actually starting to become the most valuable piece of my shift, even with the teenagers. Okay. So again, it sounds simple, learn from your team, but actively, how much are you taking time to do this? And I want to offer you guys a leadership strategy call. This is a one-on-one hour long with me that is only $147 that we get to really talk about the different ways that you communicate with your team, that you are building culture within your team, that you are training and developing your team. And you can send us a direct message through Facebook at the Trien BTCT or Be That Create That, or you're welcome to email us at hello@bethatcreatethat.com so that we can connect with you and really help solve some of those obstacles that you're seeing among your team and show you that some of it might just be we just need to ask the right questions and take the time to breathe before we respond. And you're going to see such a difference in the way not only that your team contributes, but the success of the business as a whole, because now you've got everybody involved. It really is a beautiful thing. So this is how we transform our leadership one conversation at a time. I hope this helped you today. If it did help you, please subscribe, obviously, to the channel wherever you get your podcasts, because that's obviously going to help us spread and even take that extra step to share it with someone today who you think might need to hear this message as well. I look forward to talking to you guys soon and have the best day.